Hello and welcome to the Queber channel. I'm Jason, your host. Now, the British Steel has been in the news for quite a lot of time at the moment because the Chinese company that owned it was going to shut it down. We think that the tactic here was they wanted UK to have to source its steel from China instead of having a backup. This is a bad thing because as countries have figured out recently that globalization doesn't work as well as we hoped, especially when certain people are involved like China, because they just want to use it as a hammer to control everywhere. Which, nothing against them, that's just the way they are. The UK has become a service industry. We lost all of our pottery industry, our coal industry, and now our British Steel. We've lost all of our boat building and shipbuilding ability, the big stuff. We used to be a massive thingy, country in this thingy, but we're not anymore. And a lot of the problems with this can be laid at the feet of the green movement. Now, I'm not against slowly moving the country towards net zero, slowly using renewable fuels and all those kind of things. It's got to happen. But the problem is, we don't have the infrastructure to do so. The thing is, anybody who knows the coal industry in the UK knows that we have absolutely massive reserves of coal, but we don't dig our own coal. We buy from other places. We buy from America and have it shipped over here. And that is somehow cheaper than employing our own people and British coal. Never made sense to me. You see, these days it is possible to mine coal and do other things like that we've had many advances in filtration systems and everything like that. And you may say, oh, why would you want to use coal? Well, coal is used for a lot of things. Like, we could have converted our coal reactors, our coal power stations, to a more efficient design, with filters and that you could filter out nearly all, in fact probably all of the bad gases that would go into the pollution, and that was possible. And we have massive reserves of this coal. And if you decide not to do that, because let's face it can take 10 plus years to build a nuclear reactor. Nuclear reactors are fine. If they're built right, they are the most clean and efficient form of power out there. They are the greenest power out there. As stupid as it sounds, they are. But it takes a massive amount of time to build nuclear reactors. So a country that has massive coal reserves like ours could have become self-sufficient for our power. We could have built a lot of these coal-based ones, which would take so much less time, as a mid-step. We have these resources we have massive massive iron resources our entire country was built on our own mines for iron and that. We didn't have to go out to the country for any of this stuff. They want this country to be more self-sufficient, and thinking this is where you start. We could provide our own coke from our own fuel. We could provide We could upgrade the British steel to the point where we would become an actual exporter of steel. It would take a lot, but we could. Why? Because ours would be quality steel, virgin steel. Everybody knows the quality of the Chinese steel, and that is crap. But it's so cheap and that people don't give a shit. We have the ability. We've made so many mistakes recently. We made mistakes with our power infrastructure when we offloaded a lot of it to Russia and to Europe. We made mistakes with our shipbuilding industry when we started to offload all that. We made mistakes when our pottery industry was basically offloaded to Africa, to China and places like that. And we've done the same with the steel industry and the coal industry. All these industries, we had world-class production facilities. We exported. We were a leader. And now we're a service industry and beholden to every fucking other country out there. There's some lessons somewhere in that. I don't know, but yeah. And it's the same with the privatization of all of the places privatization of our water industry and things like that. It's all made it worse in some way. So, unfortunately, at the moment, we've got that singular place left in, I think it's Scunthorpe. And the reason they're so worried about it is the Chinese company that owns it wanted to shut it down. But if you shut down a blast furnace, one of these furnaces, it can be very, very expensive to restart it. Very expensive. So it's best to try and take over it before they shut it down, and then thingy. Of course, we're fucking importing coke and that from America. Literally the other side of the world. No wonder our system is inefficient. Anyway, this is Jason for the Quever channel.